Hello, Internet, and welcome to another episode of Thursday's Children here on GameKnights. I am your host and your game master and your best friend today, Savvy. And not tomorrow, though, just for today. So don't fucking get used to it. Hi, we're here to play Vaesen. It's a Nordic horror role-playing game, and I'm in a weird mood today. So it's going to be one of those. I feel like I say that every week now, that it's going to be one of those. But hi, welcome. If you're live with us on Twitch, hello. If you are with Sid has just completely changed locales.
Sorry, I should have probably done that before stream. Well, bad.
Which I love. Sid is traveling all over the world today. If you're live with us on Twitch, hello. You can check out our schedule and our merch store and all of our wonderful, wonderful things down below our faces on our drop page. If you are with us in the future on YouTube, also, hello. Coming out with us on Twitch sometime. We would love to see you. And also you can follow and subscribe. That would be really cool. I don't think I have any scheduling announcements for us today. We are pretty much back on our regular schedule after a couple of weird days off, but that's okay. We're glad to be back. We're here now, so enjoy it. I would like to announce that I'm going to put the link in the chat for all of you wonderful people out there that we have new stuff in our merch store that you can check out. Some of the old stuff is still up. You can still get Roll for Smut on a t-shirt. You can still get Buy Fly and Ready to Die on a tank top and a t-shirt and a mug. You can still get some great GGK logo hoodies and shirts and phone cases. And now you can also get another one of our wonderful Neon Souls creations, the Gubba Bump Shrimp Company logo created just for you on a t-shirt, on a tank top, on a mug. It's got a big old shrimp and it says Gubba Bump Shrimp Company. I can't even say the name of the real company anymore. Only the fake one. And it says something about them being out of business due to giant predatory hallucinogenic land walking shrimp. And it's very good. So buy that stuff. It's great. It'll look great on you. And you're gonna like the way you look. I guarantee it. I'm gonna stop talking and let my wonderful cast here introduce themselves, tell you who they are and who they're playing today, and then we will get started because we have a new mystery to do, but I don't remember who goes first. So take it away, you heathens.
It's me, because I checked. Hi, I'm Christina Sid. You can find me.
Somebody
should not remember. There was no way I was remembering that, but I checked.
Somebody should figure out what the fuck is going on here. It's not going to be me.
Christina Sid, not me either. It's cool. You can find me on the Twitters at Greek Sid. I'm usually just, running my mouth or talking about all the awesome stuff that I do here on this channel and some others. I am here on and off Thursday through Sunday. Thursdays, I run our Good Society game, Elegant Magics. Woo, we had a doozy, y'all. Woo! Like, for real. I cannot stress enough. Watch the damn thing this past week. And if you're not going to watch the whole thing, watch like the last 20, 25 minutes, 30 minutes. Just last 30 minutes. Just promise me you'll do that. Thank you. It's going to be great. We're very excited. And come check that out again this coming Thursday at 9 o'clock Eastern. Also, starting tomorrow, I will be over on twitch.tv/infiniteRP_. I think I did that right, because their Twitch and their Twitter are different. Starting at 8 o'clock Eastern, we're going to be doing Flames of Freedom, which is basically the American Revolutionary War plus Eldritch Horror. It's going to be great. There with some friends at GGK, like Wally, who's in chat. Hey, Wally. And Grimbo and Colonomicon, a couple other great people. So yeah, come check that out. Today, I am playing Tilda. Tilda's the writer.
I think I'm next. I'm pretty sure I'm next. I'm seeing yeses. I'm next.
Own it. Take it.
I'm Morgan, also known as Imaginatrix. I'm mainly a cosplayer. You can find me on social media as Imaginatrix everywhere, on Instagram, on Twitter, all of those. So if you like cosplay, check me out. I'm here today and on Fridays playing on Neon Souls, which is so fun. And today I am playing Alina Yarvinen. And yeah. Oh, and she's the occultist.
Hello, everybody. I'm LB Hackemup. You can find me at LB Hackemup on the Twitters and the Twitches. I'm doing a lot of things, so check my Twitter for that. I am going to be playing Villiblom. She is the servant tonight.
Oh god, that went by faster than I was expecting. Hello everyone. I'm Val at the Kraken's Crown on Twitter and Twitch. You can find me here Thursdays through Sundays playing and running games. We had our session 1 of Saturday Night's Star Power Season 2 last night. It was very fun. They're dealing with a killer Elvis. And it's looking like it's gonna be a good second season. So come check it out in 2 weeks for our next show. This coming Saturday, I'll plug it as well, we will have the session 1 of Saturday Night's Mistborn, a brand new show here on GGK, where we're going to be playing the Mistborn RPG based on the Brandon Sanderson novels. A lot of familiar faces there as well from our Saturday Night's Apocalypse crew. And not much to say about it other than it's based on the book series, so if you're familiar with that, I think you'll get a kick out of it. And even if you're not familiar, it's really fun. So come join us at 5 o'clock Eastern time for that. And tonight I will be playing Dr. Danni Madsen, who is the doctor, and that's me.
You stopped talking faster than I thought you were going to. My hair is really big today. It's distracting me. All right. That's who we are. You guys ready to play a game? All right. So we are going to pick back up where we left off a couple of weeks ago. Glad to be back. The team here had received a letter. One letter after having it delivered and passing it around to everyone, eventually getting someone to read it, which is just apparently the bit that we're going to do now. Danni, I believe, you were in possession of this letter from the father, Oscar Udgren, the priest of a fishing village called Fjallbacka. He implored you, as the humble servants of God that you definitely are, and not a bunch of heathens living in a castle together, to help him to come to his fishing village, specifically to deal with some of the folks living on a place called Wrecker Isle, who I believe he referred to as a godless stain on the earth, reeking of herring and sin. He is convinced that his best friend and mentor, the vicar, Carl Eric Hedkevist, was murdered, even though it currently seems as though he was the one who shot himself, unfortunately. So he's convinced that something unnatural is going on, and that some folks on the island and in the village, some locals, had something to do with it. He's begged you to help. You agreed, even though he is not particularly trustworthy. You don't know this fool from Adam. And the last time he came to the society, you discovered through some great research in the Citadel's library, he didn't exactly do a good job. And he seems to be the sort of person, sees a lot of things maybe where there aren't necessarily any. But you decided to go anyway. You did some shopping. Tilda got a gun, which is very exciting for her specifically. So we're going to pick back up at the Citadel. Is there anything you all would like to do or talk about or or try to research before you go? We did a little bit of research last time. Danny, I think, has a map of the archipelago that you are headed to. Is there anything else?
I don't know if we need to make a scene of it, but I have to go get leave from the paper.
What's your excuse this time?
My excuse this time is the potentially questionable death of a member of the clergy on Wrecker Isle, which I have a lead and a source potentially for, and I'm going to investigate, because that's what I do. I investigate
I like
and
it.
report.
I like it. I think they'll go for that. That's pretty scandalous. If this guy, I mean, either way, a vicar was either shot or shot himself. So
Either way, it's a story. And apparently I'm just making this character like just totally into like a tabloid reporter for the most part so far. So,
Yeah.
hey.
yeah, I think they go for that.
Sweet.
Anything else?
I can't think of anything else to research because we already looked into the area and this family, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. We don't have any leads on a creature, so.
No.
Yeah, I got nothing.
Okay. If that's all, then we will move along. So you pack up your things, grab your new supplies that you have to take with you, and you head off. It is a long journey. You take a carriage and then a boat and then another carriage. You spend quite a bit of time, excuse me, traveling. Is there anything you'd like to do along the way? If not, we'll just teleport there. Because I can do that.
I think I do need to have a conversation with Alina.
Okay.
Okay, are we all in the same carriage together? I just need to know before we start this conversation.
Yes. One lovely horse-drawn carriage
Okay.
for the four of you to sit very awkwardly inside.
Oh. Maybe when we take the boat then, when we can spread out a little
Okay.
more. Okay.
Yeah, so you wait until you take this small, well, it wouldn't be that small. It's got a steam engine, a steam-powered boat, which is taking you sort of through the outskirts of the archipelago. Can you guys see the map? I can't remember if I put you on the map screen or not. Perfection. Okay.
Yep.
So you're going to arrive by boat sort of at the bottom tip, I'll ping it for you, but at the sort of southern tip of the large island that has the village of Fjallbacka on it, and then you'll take a carriage sort of into the village itself, and then you can potentially head out to any of the islands out there. But so you find yourselves on a steam-powered ship. It is loud. There's lots of bustling crew members. The machinery itself is pretty loud. But yeah, you can find a moment to have a conversation if you wish.
Alina.
Mhm.
When you made that comment about the good doctor, about them not being, well, them keeping something from us.
Mhm.
You had no further insight about that, did you?
No,
Just a hunch?
just a feeling.
Right. Oh, they're most assuredly keeping something from us.
Oh, I think that's very obvious.
Well, I've proof now.
You have proof?
Well, I have a contact of theirs who is up to some particularly shady dealings. All I know is when I asked whether it may affect all of us in our work, they lied. They can do whatever they want in their private time, but if it's going to affect our work, I won't stand for it. Don't know about you.
Well, I suppose if it does affect what we're doing, that's a problem, but what exactly are they doing?
I have a contact named Richter. Interesting fellow. I'm sure it'd be good for a beer sometime. But some not quite above board things were happening with him on the docks. And, well, the good doctor had some extensive conversation with the man. I just worry.
Could have been a normal conversation. I mean, what do doctors talk about?
Have you ever seen Danni have a normal conversation?
Well, I feel like it's pretty normal whenever they ask if something is weird with me.
You find that normal?
Yes, most people ask that.
But to ask that extensively?
Well, they're a doctor and I came back from the dead.
Questions about that, I understand. But again, like probably just pulling it. Yarn here. Just keep an eye if you wouldn't mind.
Of course.
Thank you.
Are you feeling okay, Tilda?
Me?
Mm-hmm.
Sure. I'm fine.
Okay, just wanted to make sure.
Why?
I don't know. I guess I worry about everyone.
That's very sweet of you. I'm not a particular fan of the water, but as long as the weather stays nice, I suppose.
I don't really like, thunder either, so.
What did you say?
I don't like thunder.
Tilda gets visibly colder, a little freaked out. Of course. Thank you again.
Of course.
She will scurry away and stay as far away from the edge of the boat as possible.
Okay. Anything else on the boat?
I think Danny is just sitting somewhere as quiet as possible, reading through some medical texts that they brought, looking over diagrams maybe of gunshot wounds and things like that to compare when we find the body.
Ooh, okay. Interesting. That sounds kind of like an advantage to me.
I would love that. Do I need to roll for it, or can I just gain it?
No, you can just have that. I mean, you'd have access to that stuff. So,
Cool.
Mark that down. Anything else?
Is anyone on the ship from the area?
The area you're traveling to?
Yeah.
Yeah, there are a few people on the ship I think that probably work on these boats pretty regularly, going back and forth, that are probably from the archipelago.
Okay. If I could just like find anyone to get some like inside information of like what their like the normal everyday person's perspective is like of the area, or the people like they speak more candidly about it.
Sure. You catch one of the sailors on your approach, and his name is Isaac. He tells you.
Mm-hmm.
Write him down. You catch him as he is sort of taking a break before you prepare to approach the island itself. What do you ask him?
I'd probably just like idle conversation for a while, and then ask if they've ever been to. We're going to Wrecker Isle.
Specifically, yeah.
Yeah, that's the name of the town, or is that name of the whole island?
That's the name of one of the islands in the
Okay.
out in the archipelago.
Okay.
They're very small, so
yeah. She'll ask about that if they've been there, if they've been about the town before.
okay. Yeah, he tells you he's been there before. He'll explain on Wrecker Isle. It's pretty small island, and there's not like a full town. Pretty much the only things out there are the inn that the godmother runs, her home where she lives with her 4 sons, Pace, Paul, Pete, and Zacharias.
Okay.
And the herring warehouse.
Okay. And what do you make of the people of the island? It's quite a unique lifestyle to live so isolated from everyone else.
They're fine.
Eh.
They run a good inn. Bit rowdy at times, but sailing crowd.
Right. Do you know? Do they have servants? The inn at the inn, or for the family?
I mean, they got a couple of people that work there. You'll probably see Justina, nice girl.
Right. Have you heard of the any of the talk of someone dying on the island?
Oh, the priest. Yeah, we all heard.
What did they say?
Don't know. Lots of mixed stories. I heard he killed himself.
A priest? That seems pretty odd.
People do a lot of odd things by the water.
What do you mean by that?
You ever been out at sea for more than a day?
No, not myself.
Not an easy life. And city folk, it takes them a time to get used to it.
Right.
But the call of the sea is a strange thing.
You don't think there are monsters out there, do you? In the
Of
water?
course I do.
Really?
All sorts of things under there. That's why I stay up here.
It's fair. I'm not much of a swimmer myself. Well, is there anything I should keep an eye out for?
Well, even really the herring you want to be careful of.
The fish?
Oh, sure.
What's wrong
Big
with
schools of them. They could drag you down if you're not careful.
Oh. I was thinking more of the... It's fine. Whatever. Just an old soul looking for stories.
Well, if you're looking for stories once you get out into the archipelago, when you head to the inn, look for Orvar.
Orvar?
Crazy old man, but knows everything about everything. And everyone.
I find those are the best type of people.
Aye.
I think, is there anything else? Have you ever met the priest that killed himself?
The vicar? No, not really a religious type.
Me either, but it just gives me the heebie-jeebies to think that someone did that, especially with all the, scripture against it.
Who knows?
Anyways, well, is there any other places I should go while I'm on the island? Any other sort of hole-in-the-wall spots?
It's really just the inn.
Well, I have to get a drink there when I'm off the clock then.
Well, good luck to you. Hope you can handle the smell.
I've probably smelled a lot worse, don't worry. That'll do.
He, after a call from some of the other crew, he gets back to work. As you approach the island, one of the larger islands out in the archipelago. Anything else before we make landfall? Okay. Well, you do so. You arrive. There is a large dock with several piers, lots of ships, sort of all along the shore. And you disembark, grab another carriage, and head into the village. Fialbaka is a small fishing village, again, sort of all along the coast. There are ships ranging from very large ones to sort of small fishing vessels, and even from where you are, not right next to the water, just sort of in the village, you can smell the herring. It's not pleasant. It's very fishy and a little sour, and just all around not something I think any of you are probably used to, for sure. And the closer you get to the water, the stronger it gets. What would you like to do?
Villiblom takes out a little pot and is going to go up to Alina and rub sort of right on top of her lip, and it's a very strong peppermint balm to help with the smell. There you go, darling.
Thanks, Villy.
Try to stay close, please. I don't necessarily trust the fishermen folk.
Can I confirm? So we're in Fjallbaka. The Amundsen family, or are they right? Amundsen family are on Wrecker Isle, where most of the fishing takes place.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
That is where the actual warehouse and the herring, what's it called? Saltery.
Saltery. Okay.
It's where the inn is as well.
On Wrecker Isle. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
But I suppose we should find Father Utgrin and surmise more information on where we should begin our investigation. I'd like to see the body first off to confirm this isn't a simple suicide. Save us a lot of time.
Miss Tilda, are you all right?
Fine. I'm fine.
Would you care for some peppermint lip balm?
I would love some, please.
Hands it over.
Oh. Oh. Yes, that's far better.
Everything
Close
smells
the passages.
mostly of peppermint and vaguely of salty fish.
Peppermint fish.
But it's better.
Much better.
Should I... Should I bring our things to the inn first?
Well, I don't know if we'll be staying here or if we need to secure passage to the island.
Well, let's figure that out first, I suppose.
Sure. Well, shouldn't be too hard to find the father. I can't imagine there are many churches nearby. Begins looking. I have a map, so I don't know if that'll help me find the church.
Yeah, it will. I won't make you roll for that. It's not a big place. Where you're at right now in the village is mostly homes, and then the docks, the piers that are out in the water, which are just lined with ships. So you make your way to a small wooden building towards the end of this sort of main road that looks like a chapel. You make your way inside. There is only one person inside, sort of a younger man wearing priest's garbs or cropped, short brown hair, looking sort of exceedingly grumpy. And he sort of shakes his head and then turns around to greet you, sort of immediately looking you over. He doesn't recognize you, so he assumes you must be the people he is looking for, and he says, "Hello, might I be of service?"
Are you Father Undgren?
Yes, that's me. Please call me Oscar.
Oscar, pleasure. We were the members of the newly formed society that you wrote to.
You came. Excellent. I'm starting to worry when I didn't hear anything back.
It seemed most prudent to just come along and see what we might be of service for.
Wonderful. Anything I can do to help, truly. I want to get to the bottom of this.
I will need to see the body as soon as possible. Do you have that on the premises, or is it kept at a local coroner's office?
The coroner has it. I can take you down there.
No need to escort me, just point me in the right direction.
All right. The about halfway down this road, find a crossroads, take a left. You can't really miss it. There's a sign outside that says coroner.
All right. I'll begin on that then. The rest of you wish to stay and speak with the father to find out more information?
Certainly.
Can Alina, can she like sense things from people? Like get an idea of who they are or how they are, sort of thing?
If she uses her crystal ball, maybe.
Okay. Then Villiblom will just ask, would you rather stay here or go with the doctor?
I'm not great at talking to people, so maybe I'll be best assisting the doctor.
All right. We feel that. Might be good practice, though.
That's true.
Don't want to push you in any direction, I'm just saying.
I don't know if practicing during important conversation is the best course of action.
All right. Well, don't let the doctor get onto your skin, all right?
Okay.
And make sure you watch yourself when there's blood swirling around for the body.
Of course.
Mm-hmm. And see if you get anything from them.
Will do.
If you're coming along, if you would grab that bag, please.
Of course.
Danni confidently strides down the street towards the coroner's office.
Okay. I do like that Billy said all of that with Danny just standing right there.
Danny's used to her saying nonsense.
Okay, so Danny and Alina, you head out, medical supplies in tow, for the local coroner. Tilda and Billy, you stay. So we'll stay at the church for now. Oscar sort of says, "All right then. Nice to meet you." As you walk off without ever having introduced yourself.
Danny doesn't even think about it. Doesn't even respond. Just keeps walking.
Right. So, what do you need to know?
Well, if we could get a more thorough understanding of the events leading up to your friend, the father's death.
Perhaps we could start with a cup of tea and introductions.
Of course. I have some tea in a small kitchen in the back.
Billy nods and goes to get the tea.
All right. Is that your serving person?
Serving person? No. Well, believe me, if she sticks around you for long enough, she'll become yours as well. It's in Billy's nature, I think, to try and take care of folk.
Well, that's nice.
Yes, indeed. I please don't pay too much mind to my friends and their brusqueness. They are all very dedicated to their work.
I believe it.
Well, how long have you attended to the church here?
Several years. I've lived here most of my life in the village. I took over recently at the behest of the vicar.
Before or after his death?
Before. He was older and wished to live a more quiet life, I think, away from the herring.
I see. Well, it is a charming church.
Thank
Billy
you.
Walks back out.
Billy comes back with tea.
Mm-hmm. Places it in front of, gives it to each of them. And my name is Villiblom. You may call me Villy, if you like.
A pleasure.
This is Miss Tilda. She has not already introduced herself.
Of course I haven't. Silly me. I am Tilda Grunbury. Pleasure to make your acquaintance.
A pleasure, Miss Tilda.
Now, I guess... Well, tell us about the father, if we haven't gotten there already.
Yes. Vicar Hedquist was truly a good man, a good friend and an excellent mentor. He lived here for many years, even before the herring saltery was installed. Fjallbacka was a very different place before that. You know, when people fall on hard times, it tends to be much easier for them to turn to the church. In the last few decades, though, things have changed, but he stayed on his mission, as always. An admirable man.
So he was very dedicated to the church.
Yes, it was his whole life.
Which is why you think it's strange that he might have... that he couldn't have taken his life.
No, I don't think that's possible.
Had there been any strange events, unusual activity prior to the father's death?
Well, he'd been spending a bit more time out on Wrecker Isle. It's a truly a bed of heathenry, if I might say so. More and more of the sailing folk arrive every day. The vicar, he wanted to turn the people back to the church, back to God. Was well, not necessarily as successful as he would like, or as I would like, with that inn out there and that woman.
Is this Mrs. Umbenson? The godmother, as it were?
Yes, that's what they call her. Out there. You can
May I
see
ask
why we take umbrage with
why?
this. Well, she, in their description, I suppose, takes on a bit of a motherly role towards everyone out there, though I would not want to call her my mother.
Oh?
She's a vile woman. Her and her shotgun.
I'm sorry, we're not from the area. Could you tell us a little more about her and why you have such strong feelings on her?
Well, she enables everything that goes on out there, drinking, revelry, all sorts of things I'd rather not speak about in the House of the Lord.
Of course. So, the father went on missionary trips, if you will, to the Isle, but they were not successful?
No. While sailors are a superstitious folk, they're not exactly what one might call religious or God-fearing. The sea is their god. Well,
I see.
money is their god now.
Is that due to the saltery?
Oh, yes. This was not a prosperous place before the herring baron, as they call him, set up shop.
And who might that be?
Zacharias Amundsen, the youngest son of the godmother.
Right.
So, just trying to put all of the pieces together here, Father. Father Hedquist was spending more time on Wrecker Isle, and I suppose walk us through what happened the day before his death?
Well, he hadn't travelled out there in a few weeks. Our last interactions with the folks there hadn't been pleasant, and the vicar, Father Hedquist, he wanted us to be protected when we travelled out there next. So he purchased a firearm, a pistol. However, I was ill at the time, and when he decided to go out next, he went alone. The next morning, they pulled his body out of the water.
He went alone, even though he feared for your lives so much that he purchased a firearm.
He was the most dedicated priest I've ever met.
I see.
This might be a strange question, but why not contact the police? Why contact us first?
Because I don't think this is a matter for the police. I don't believe the vicar killed himself. I believe he was done in. And there is something very strange about that family. More than just oddballs and sailors.
How
Something
so?
is going on. It's that boy. Well, he's not a boy any longer. He's just turned 40 this past year. But Zacharias Admonson is... Well, to be frank with you, I don't believe him to be human.
That is a very bold assertion, Father. Has he sprouted extra appendages? How do you mean not human?
There's something very strange about him. 30 years ago, allegedly, he was... Well, he's not the natural-born son of the godmother of Mrs. Amundsen. She asserts, was abandoned, and she took him in. There are rumors, however, that... Well, that the boy came out of the sea. "30 years ago, as if trying to put truth to them, they established the inn on the island and the saltery. And almost overnight, the village went from starving to, pardon the pun, but swimming in herring. The silver of the sea, they call it."
Is the name of the inn?
No,
Oh,
that's what they call the herring.
I see.
Suddenly there was fish to be had, money to be had for everyone. And the Amundsens especially, they used to be wreckers. They would steal from passing ships, cause them to wreck on the shores, take their goods. Now they no longer have to.
So besides drinking and engaging in unsavory activities such as... What exactly are the people doing on the island?
Oh, there's all sorts of debauchery happening out there. Things I don't partake in as a man of the cloth.
Ah,
Of course.
is he in a brothel then?
No. Just a... Well, not legally, anyway. Just a haven for the seafaring folk, many of which are these wreckers. They steal, they drink, they do all sorts of things.
Right. And do they come here very often, or do they usually stay on the island?
The ones that don't live here tend to stay on the island. Some of them have homes here in the village.
Well, I think it might be time for us to head to this inn, see who might speak with us.
I think that's a good idea.
Shall I go with you?
No. Please do not misunderstand us, Father. We very much appreciate you bringing us into the situation that we might investigate. I do suspect, however, given your and the late father's activities and missionary work, it might be best if we don't associate ourselves with you in the church. I would gather most individuals might not be as forthcoming with us, if you understand.
Have you roll, because he want to go.
I'm sure he do.
He want to go.
I'm sure he do. I'm sorry, you
Uh,
don't roll up to the illegal brothel with a priest. That's
No, you
just
do
that
not.
that is the start of a bad joke and is the start of a bad investigation.
tabloid journalist, a servant, and a priest walk into a
Walk
brothel.
into
Please roll manipulation for me.
Okay.
Well, really for him, but
Yeah.
a little bit of it is for me.
No, I won't add it for now. I did grab some advantages from doing some prior research on the father earlier, but no, this is a good roll for me, hopefully, knock on wood. 2 successes.
That is no. Chat says roll it. He want to go brothel check. Yeah. Roll a check to see how bad he wants to go to the brothel that's not a brothel. Yeah, 2, you only need 1. So you can do what you will with the other.
Bank.
Yeah, you you sort of pitch him this and he nods along and kind of makes face like, yes, I understand. You're right, of course. Will you be needing anything before you go?
I'm not quite sure. Villy, do you think we would be attempting to stay overnight? Any provisions we may need?
Oh, I think we'll be taken care of as far as provision goes. But if we do come back and need a place to stay, we could, if there's room. That's what you mean?
Of course. There is now a small empty apartment in the back of the church, so
Of course.
if you need a place to stay, it's yours.
Thank you very much, Father. If you don't think there's anything else that we would need to know in this case, perhaps we may catch up with Alina and the good doctor, Billy.
Yes, of course. I'll grab the rest of the bags.
Be very careful. And know that Mr. Amundsen, the Herring Baron, he will know of your arrival. He always does. His mother keeps him abreast of everything that happens.
Well, good. I think we might like to meet him.
Best of luck. I'll be here if you need me.
Thank you very much for your time.
Oh, and if you don't mind, if you see Justina, she works at the inn. Tell her I've said hello, and just that my offer still stands.
Of course.
All right.
Thank you.
As soon as we get outside. Justina.
I did hear something that you were speaking with one of the sailors about Justina.
Well, there's quite a few things that they were saying, but I'm not sure what the offer he could be talking about is.
Couldn't you?
Oh, the man of the cloth? I don't think so.
He's still quite a young man. After the tragic death of a mentor of his. It's quite possible.
Now, I was told that your paper isn't about gossip.
No, but I am. So that would be quite, well, extraordinary, really. Although not that extraordinary. Again, they are men of the cloth, but they are, at the end of the day, still men.
Right. Speaking of your insight into people, what do you think of the doctor?
What do I think of the doctor?
I'm sorry, I meant Danny.
Have we made it to Danny already? I thought you and I were walking.
No, that's what I'm saying. I'm asking Tilly what Tilly thinks of, or Tilda thinks of Danny.
Oh!
Billy is.
I don't know. What do you think of the doctor?
I don't know.
Sid's gonna have just a bit of caffeine so that our brain is working for that sentence. 1 moment. Thank you.
Mhm.
What do you mean?
Well, you've been hanging around them long enough, and I'm employed by them, so I just wondered if you seem to be at each other's throats sometimes, so.
I don't think I really know them well enough to do a fair assessment.
Right. Maybe you should get to know them better. Go out maybe for a drink or something.
Are you attempting to set me up with the doctor?
In what way?
I don't know. In what way did you mean that I should take them out for a drink?
Miss Tilda, we're here working on a mission. We've fought creatures, and we live together. I don't want you fighting each other left and right. If we are going to work together, you two need to get along. That's all I'm implying.
And all I will say is we get along just fine on the job. And frankly, that's all that really matters to me.
All right, I just think it'd be easier, but if you want to take it the hard way, that's fine as well.
Is that a threat, Villy?
No, it wasn't a threat. If I wanted to threaten you, you'd be up against a wall.
Oh. Noted.
Right. I think they said it was down this way.
Right. Head to the morgue, I suppose.
Did everyone's head just go to the meme of Villy holding Tilda up against the wall?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, it did.
Just making sure.
That actually seems proportionally about right as well.
All right.
Moving on.
Let us go to Danni and Alina and the coroner. The two of you leave the church and make your way down the street, turning at the main intersections about halfway down the road, and you find a long, like the front of it is very, very wide, sort of long, low wooden building that has two doors set into it. The first one has a sign over it hanging down that says butcher. And then the second, about halfway down the building, has a sign hanging over it that says coroner. But they go into the same building.
Danny stops outside. Oh. One of
Something
those.
wrong?
Nothing. I was hoping to speak with somebody. Nothing. Let's go.
Okay.
Heads into the coroner side of the building.
Their
Their expectations significantly deflated from what to find here.
It's not a big place, okay?
Honestly, they're just surprised that there is somebody that practices medicine in this village.
It's a seaside village with lots of sailors. A lot of people get sick and a lot of people die. Okay. Oh, wait, there's a third door at the very end, and the sign above it says doctor.
Perfect. The trifecta. As I also say, barber.
There's a fourth door all the way on the side in the alley, and there's a barber pole signifying that you go in that door if you need a barber.
Wait a minute.
But it's all the same building.
Is there a fifth door that also says like fish bait? Are we in Iowa? What's going on?
Yes.
It's the first strip mall.
The archipelago of Iowa.
And it's all one person that runs all of these businesses.
Maybe. It's all in the same building.
Are they like Bao from Avatar and they just duck behind and put on a different hat each time you interact with them?
Well, now I can't do that bit.
Damn it. Sorry.
Just kidding. I totally can. Danny and Alina, you push open the door that says coroner, and you find yourself in a small wooden. It's like this whole building, everything is made out of wood. It looks like the walls look like wood paneling. The small room with a desk sort of shoved up in one corner. A bell rings as you open the door and walk in. There's no one in here, but there is another small bell sort of sitting on the desk.
Danny walks up. Ding.
One moment, you hear from somewhere else in the building, and you wait for just a minute, and coming through a door behind the desk, you see a very large, burly man with like a large, thick beard and mustache, pulling a clean apron over his head, sort of tying it around, takes the other apron that's in his hand that is clearly covered in blood, leans back through the door toward the side that says butcher, hangs it up, shuts the door. Yes, how may I help you?
My name is Dr. Danny Madsen. I'm here from Grimsey. I am here to inspect the body of the vicar.
Doctor, pleased to meet you. I'm Jonathan. He holds out like a big, thick, meaty hand.
Yes. Are you the coroner?
Shakes your hand too hard. I am. You came in the right door.
Yes, I can read.
Good. That's rare here.
Yes. Have you conducted an autopsy yet on the vicar?
Yes. Well, sort of a quick, standard one. Are you? Have they sent someone else to look into it? I thought this was sort of open and shut, as it were.
And what makes you believe that?
Well, we don't get a lot of gunshot wounds here, but they're, fairly standard business to look at.
Well, yes, we were called in personally by the church to conduct a full examination to confirm the cause of death.
Ah. Oscar sent you.
Yes.
Listen, Doctor, I don't know if you've just been called in sort of on a professional basis or if you're a friend of Oscar's. The man's gone through a lot. I think it might be best to just let this one lie.
Right. Well, as you said, I've traveled all the way out here. I might as well confirm for myself and provide my own analysis.
Can I have you roll to manipulate?
All right. This is definitely something Danny's very good at. Oh, one success.
Okay, that's good. You say this, and he kind of thinks to himself for a minute, listening to what you say. He says, well, you came all the way here.
Yes.
All right. Come on back. Miss, will you be joining us?
Oh, yes.
She'll be assisting me, yes.
Wow, an assistant. Wish I'd get an assistant.
You do seem to have your hands full with the numerous business.
Yes, well, most of it's the herring.
Ah, a lot of work for butchering herring.
Yes. Well, filleting, mostly.
Right.
It's a tedious work. So, this is rather exciting. Big city doctor and their assistant.
Yes. Well, hopefully this will be quick and we can be out of your hair.
Got enough of it. He sort of scratches his beard. He comes around the side of the desk and opens a door in the back and says, all right, follow me.
Danny just like gives a look to Alina for a moment, just very exasperated by this whole situation, and follows.
Lena just smiles back and follows.
Realizes that she's not going to understand their frustration.
So I was writing down the coroner, butcher, doctor, barber.
What was his name again?
There. Jonathan.
Jonathan.
All right, so sometimes Dr. Jonathan leads you back through into a little bit of a larger room. It is very chilly back here, and sort of sitting towards the back of the room, laid out on a table covered up with a sheet, there is a body. He walks over to it, sort of looks up at the two of you and says, all right, ready?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
He pulls the sheet back, and you see the body of a man, an older man, probably in his like mid to late 60s, sort of graying hair, quite obviously dead, on the table, with a large wound sort of to one side of his face. There's the vicar.
Right. And you had the father here to confirm the identity?
Oh, yes. And I had someone else as well. One of the regular churchgoers come by just in case. The man was very distraught. So, just to confirm, it's definitely him.
And you ascertained the cause of death was this injury to the cranium?
Point blank gunshot wound from a pistol, most likely.
Right. Looks over the body. Does it look like he did an autopsy, or any sign that, or just examined the body?
It looks like an autopsy was done.
Okay. Does it look like the autopsy was done by a butcher or a doctor?
It looks like it was done pretty well.
Okay.
Not how you would have done it, probably, but somebody with some level of finesse.
Well, Danny takes off their coat, begins rolling up their sleeves, pulls out from their bag their own surgical apron, and begins to like grab their tools for an autopsy. Well, I think I can handle it from here. If you wish to observe, you're welcome to.
Sure. See the big city doctor at work.
Alina, can you take notes if I dictate?
Yes?
That would be very helpful.
I'll do my best.
And Danny will get to work. Does have the chemicals that they brought. I was thinking specifically we'll be looking for traces of like one wants to confirm like the cause of death is actually the gunshot wound. It wasn't something prior, and the gunshot wound was there to cover it up. And also looking for like I don't know if this is anachronistic to the time period, but whether the chemicals to determine whether there was like gunpowder on because there are certain chemicals that react to gunpowder, applying those to the hands and see if there's any evidence that he was the one that fired the weapon. So, that sort of thing. But we'll investigate the body.
Yeah, go ahead and roll. Is it medicine in this one?
So, I was looking at it. Investigation says specifically examine a dead body.
Oh, okay.
So, and also that's what all my stuff ties to.
That makes... I can hover over it. Oh, these sheets are so cool.
I love
Search a room, understand what happened at a crime scene, examine a dead body, or find what is obscure. Okay, yeah, we'll do investigation then. That's perfect.
So the chemical equipment gives me a +1. My medical equipment does not apply. It only applies to medicine checks.
Yes.
And then can I use the advantage from studying the gunshot wounds previously on my investigation check?
Yes, so we'll tie that to investigation.
Okay, so I'll get a total
mystery.
3 additional dice on this.
I think you already have a few for investigation, right?
Yeah, I have 8.
Whew.
So I'll have 11 total.
Okay. Hit me. Gotta be a success in there somewhere, right?
Only 2.
That seems about right for you.
I roll 3 dice, I get 1. I roll 11 dice, I get 2.
Gotta roll a 6. All right. So to get all of the information you want is probably going to take more than one success. So you can spend both of them if you wish.
I will. Yeah.
Okay.
I want to know as much about this body as I can.
Yeah, you do or you redo the autopsy with Dr. Jonathan sort of standing by watching you very respectfully. He's quiet. He's quiet for such a large man. He does a little bit of work sort of cleaning up and everything in the background, but mostly just kind of watches you quietly and intently. You redo this, you check using your chemical set and what samples that you have. The cause of death definitely appears to be this gunshot wound, and it's sort of taken off like part of the front of his face, and you can kind of see it's done some pretty severe damage to the brain. So definitely the cause of death. You don't find like anything strange in his system or anything like that. No drugs, alcohol, that kind of thing. No like poison. I don't know if that's what you're looking for.
Yeah, like if he was drowned and then shot, or like strangled and then shot, or something like that. Yeah.
No. Yeah, it's the gunshot is definitely what killed him. You test his hands for gunpowder. You do find on one of his hands sort of gunpowder residue, but there is a lot of it. Not necessarily something that would come from firing a gun, probably something that came from loading a gun like this. It's way too much to have just come from a single gunshot. You inspect the area sort of around the wound, and from what you can tell, while the gun was very close to him, was in very, very close range when it went off, when the shot went off, it was not touching him. Like, it wasn't touching his skin when it did. So there's no like muzzle burn or anything like that.
Okay.
I think it's a subtle difference for sure, but I think you can tell it was probably fired from maybe a foot away.
Well, you provided the vicar's effects, personal belongings, when his body was brought.
Oh, yes. I've got them in the drawer over here. Not much, but they're there. Feel free.
Goes over to the drawer. Is there a pistol in the?
Nope.
Where is the pistol?
Far as I know, they never found it. They pulled him out of the water, so probably washed away.
Where was he found exactly?
The shore of Wrecker Isle, Western Shore.
Interesting. Who found the body?
Some sailor that was out there. Poor fool. Drunk as a skunk when he found him, thought it wasn't real.
Do you have the sailor's name?
Yeah. It's something. I don't know. What's his name?
Sven.
Sven is good. I like Sven.
Right. And Danny's been like dictating their findings as they are going over for Alina. They're speaking pretty quickly and not repeating things. So I don't know how much she would actually catch.
How good are you at taking notes, Alina?
I think she gets down some keywords.
Okay. I like that. She's working very hard over there, taking notes.
Yep.
Danny stops and cleans off their hands after putting everything back, sewing the body back up. Turns back to Jonathan. Well, I believe I'm finished with my investigation.
Doctor,
Yes.
do you think we can have a moment in private?
Yes. Excuse me for a moment. Walks out to the hall with Alina.
I want to do the crystal ball thing that I do. I'm not sure if I should do that in front of other people. That seems like a bad idea.
Yes. I believe you're correct. I will speak with Jonathan privately and try to give you some time.
Thank you.
Right. Heads back into the room. Dr. Jonathan, if I could speak with you for a moment.
Of course, Dr. Madsen. Straightens his apron. Walks confidently out into the hallway.
The closest Danny gets to being competent manipulating somebody.
He doesn't, I feel like Jonathan doesn't get addressed as doctor very much, and he probably resents that a little bit.
We'll take him out to the hall and begin to go over some of the findings and tell him, based on my conclusions, I guess actually going over the notes that Alina had, like, took those from Alina, and I'll have to add to these. Based on my findings, I cannot conclusively say that the vicar did take his own life.
Really now?
Yes.
And just what gives you that idea?
Well, a number of factors, most notably the absence and presence of gunpowder burns and residue in several places. This alone is not conclusive to rule out the idea of suicide being the causing factor, the determinative factor of the vicar's death, given his body was waterlogged after the incident. But without the implement the firearm, it's hard to say one way or another. It's very possible that he may have been shot at close range by someone else.
Fascinating. So you think maybe he was shot and dumped?
Potentially. There isn't enough evidence to say one way or another. I'll need
For
to...
what reason would anyone have to shoot the vicar?
That is not my area to say. I can only work with the facts that I have. I'll need to speak with Sven and examine the area where the doctor's body was found.
Fair enough.
If you could keep the remains preserved for now. If this does turn into a investigation warranting the authorities, they will need to investigate or examine the body as well.
Of course, if there's one thing we're good at on these islands, well, it's preserving meat.
Good man.
Doctor.
Doctor.
Jonathan's having the best day.
Hopefully that gives Alina enough time.
Yeah. I don't think the crystal stuff takes too long. So Alina, you want to try to observe something with your crystal ball?
Yes, I would. Going to search for clues using observation, and I get +1 bonus dice. So she heaves out her crystal ball and looks into it, kind of looks at the body, looks back at the crystal ball.
All right, let's roll to see what happens.
Got 2 successes.
Okay, you only needed 1. So do with that other one what you will. What kind of clues are you looking for?
Anything that points towards what may have happened the night that he was killed.
Okay.
I suppose.
Okay, yeah. You hold up the crystal ball and look between it and the body and sort of focus in, and the familiar mist starts to swirl up in it, and it starts to glow just a little bit, and this light, just this very this dim sort of small light starts to project out from the ball, and around you it starts to like take shapes, almost like a projection in front of you. It's pretty spooky. You see forming in front of you these lights sort of in the shape of people. As you you watch this and you lose yourself in the image a little bit, you see the vicar, and you also see 1, 2, 3, 4 other people around him. In the background, you can't really see a whole lot. The scene is pretty dark, pretty dim, but you're just hit with this very, very strong smell of salt and that sort of same sour, fishy smell that hit you when you got near the town, when you got near Fjallbacka, which you can safely assume is probably the smell of herring at this point, because everybody won't shut up about these fish. But you see these 4 figures surrounding the vicar. You see him pull the gun. You see the gun almost sort of slapped out of his hand and taken, and you hear a gunshot go off, and you see the vicar crumple to the ground.
I think she quickly tucks the crystal ball away and pokes her head out the door. Doctor?
Yes, Alina, are we ready to leave?
Yes,
Please say that Jonathan also turned when she's the doctor.
Of course he did. He's a doctor.
yes, believe we got everything we can here.
Right. Well, it seems we're all cleaned up, ready to go. Dr. Jonathan, I appreciate your assistance.
Anytime.
And we'll grab their bag and head out with Alina.
All right. We head out.
Any findings?
Yes, I do believe that the vicar was murdered. Unfortunately, I couldn't quite see by who, but there were at least 4 people involved.
You could see through your occult powers?
Yes, using the crystal ball.
Right. So you
I've
received
seen you do
some
it
sort
before.
of... Yes, I just don't fully understand it.
Oh, me neither.
And does that not bother you?
There's a lot of things I don't understand.
And that doesn't bother you?
I suppose sometimes it does, but I'm sure it'll sort itself out someday and I'll understand.
Well, I appreciate the second opinion on that to confirm my findings. I doubt it would be admissible should we take this to the authorities, but it does give us somewhere to look. We believe there were 4 people involved.
It smelled very salty.
Given the general odor of the town, that doesn't limit many areas, but I suppose we might find more information at the site that the body was discovered.
Hopefully.
Could you confirm the location if we found it?
Did I get like a look at the surroundings in the crystal ball, or
It was hard to see. You're pretty positive you were indoors. So it's possible that if you found that location, you might be able to match them up. It didn't look like anything that was familiar to you now, but maybe.
there's a chance, but wasn't the body found on the shore?
Yes. Allegedly.
I do think he was killed indoors.
Well, that limits things further. Perhaps we investigate the saltery on Wrecker Isle.
I think that's
Well.
a good idea.
Good work. Your note-taking leaves some things to be desired, but all in all, good work.
I'll practice.
Yes. I assume the others show up at exactly this moment.
They do.
Precisely.
Everyone's outside the coroner.
Finished already?
Yes. Looks around. I believe we do have a reason to investigate further. I do not believe this was a self-inflicted gunshot wound.
No.
And Alina seems to confirm as such.
All right. If someone else did this, then we must be careful investigating.
Yes. I believe we should travel to Wrecker Isle. Find passage there.
Right. At least a handful of parties of interest. This Justina character that works at the inn. Well, the living father had a message for her. I would be very interested to see her reaction to that message.
Did you learn anything else from the father as to any potential suspects to the vicar's untimely death?
Pace, Paul, Pete, and Zacharias. Most notably Zacharias. Given that the father doesn't believe them to be human.
Apparently he was found. He isn't a blood relative.
And what connection would that have to the vicar's death?
That is what the father believes. That he's the owner of the sultry, and when he arrived, he seemed to turn things around in the town quite quickly. Almost too quickly.
So that there might be some sort of supernatural cause to the town's recent affluence.
Very similarly to what we now may suspect about Mr. Von Meyer's rise to business thriving. So this Zacharias character either has some sort of basin in their pockets, or, as the rumors state, perhaps they are one themselves.
Right. Well, we also can't rule out superstition and the motivation being more human in nature. Perhaps they simply did not like the man.
Well, he did have a rather annoying habit of going into Wrecker Isle and attempting to minister to the layabouts there. So he may have just made himself rather unpopular.
Common trait amongst the clergy.
Indeed.
Well, we should seek out and try to find the location of the murder and go from there. Perhaps we'll find ties to the suspect.
I myself shall be going straight to Justina.
Making sure that we're keeping things on the low so that the locals don't think that we're just in there to mess their stuff up.
Yes, but I think we may need to be... try not to lie too much.
Right.
Apparently,
I just don't want to make a fuss.
Apparently this Zacharias character will know immediately when we arrive. At least according to the living father.
Well,
shall we?
I believe we shall.
All right. So the four of you gather your things and head down to, I assume, the docks to try to secure passage through the archipelago to Wrecker Isle. That is where we're going to go ahead and take our break. Thank you, everybody, for hanging out with us so far. We will be back in just a quick few minutes after we refresh our snacks and our drinks and ourselves. And yeah, stick around and see what happens next. We'll see you soon. Welcome back, Internet. Thank you for hanging out with us during our break. We are refreshed and rested and full of snack energy and ready to continue. So, the four of you make your way down toward the docks to try to find passage to Wrecker Isle. How would you like to go about this?
Should we just find somebody and pay them?
Seems like it might be easiest.
All right. You there, sailor.
You flag down a young woman with blonde hair pulled back in a tight bun and sort of sun-freckled face. And she looks up, sort of straightens her shirt a little bit. Yes, my lord.
I'm not a lord.
Well, I know that.
Right. We require passage to Wrecker Isle. There's a ship that's sailing there soon.
Well, you won't need a whole ship. It's only about an hour out that way. I've got a fishing boat.
All right. We can compensate you.
Wonderful. When did you want to go?
As soon as possible.
All right. I'll pack up a few things and see you aboard. That's fine. And she points to a small fishing boat tied up on one of the docks.
Wonderful. Thank you. What is your name?
Sarah. My
Sarah.
doctor.
Doctor is fine. Wonderful. We will wait for your word.
What's the weather
All
look like?
It is cold here. It is cold, but clear skies. Not sunny necessarily. But it's fine. It's a little chilly.
Okay. Tilda is a little hesitant to get on the teeny vessel, but checks the sky, takes a deep breath, and walks aboard.
And yeah, it's a little guy, this boat. Little fishing boat. Right. Anything else before you climb aboard? Tilda steels herself. Okay. So Sarah calls you all aboard. Her and one other member of her crew. It's just the two of them. And you set off for Wrecker Isle. Sarah has told you it's about an hour to get there. So it's not too far out. You set sail, navigating at first a little bit slowly, kind of through some of the smaller isles of the archipelago, picking up speed a little bit as you get a bit further out. Can I have somebody roll? Which one is that? Vigilance for me. I don't care who.
I've got 6 dice in vigilance.
Go
Does
for
somebody
it.
else
I only
more?
have 3.
Nah.
I'll go then. Would this be benefited by my map book?
No.
Okay, let's check. 2 successes.
Okay. As you go along, Danny, you're about 2/3 of the way there, through the hour. Not much has happened. The weather is still pretty clear. The water is pretty calm. But you do notice another boat out here that left shortly after you did, and seems to be from a fair distance away, following you.
Miss Sarah.
Yes, Doctor.
Do you recognize that ship? Or boat?
She takes a look out. A bit far away to tell. No, I mean there's all sorts of fishing folk out here. Pretty normal.
I hope the stranger's feeling that they're following us.
Well, that would be very strange.
It would be. Well, we'll just keep an eye on them then.
All right.
Who would I tell? Who do I want to approach out of the three people? Which one does Danny like the least worst?
Tough call.
I guess we'll just tell all. I mean, is everybody together?
It's a small boat.
Okay. I think that ship is following us. Or boat. I don't know the terminology.
Really? Why would they be doing that?
I don't know.
This isn't a very large shipping vessel. It wouldn't be prey to those wreckers everyone's been talking about, would it?
Perhaps we look like we have enough money.
Damn. Yeah, perhaps we are the thing to be wrecked and damn.
It'll be all right. It's not like they can sneak up on us. We know where they are.
What should
We
we
know
do
where
if
they are.
What should we do if they get close?
We have
If it looks like they have
firearms.
some- I do not currently.
A few of us do.
Well, I will leave it to you then.
Of course.
Sarah,
Yes, ma'am.
this may be a personal question. Have you ever fallen prey or seen anyone fall prey to wreckers on these shores?
Me? No. I don't make enough of that. Just enough to get by. Of course, there's enough herring for everybody now, so well done on our part, I suppose. No, there's a wrecking that happens here and there, but well, mostly coming from ships that are already wrecked, if I'm being honest. It gets less and less every year.
Oh, that's good at least. Would there be any other reason that a boat might follow us?
Well, I don't know, looking for a decent fishing spot, maybe want to share. I mean, they could also be going to Wrecker Isle. Lots of sailors come back and forth, go to the inn. Or
Of course.
maybe they work at the warehouse.
The warehouse?
Oh, the saltery. It's in a... Well, and she sort of points over the bow of the ship, and as you're coming up on Wrecker Isle, the first thing you can see is this just huge, bright yellow warehouse building. It is difficult to miss now that you are close. And she says, "That's it. You can actually see it from here. That's the saltery. We call it the warehouse because it's in a warehouse."
It is hard to miss.
Yeah, Mr. Aventon has somebody repaint it every couple of months. I think he likes the yellow. Makes it a bit happier.
Oh.
Everything's sort of grey out here most of the year.
Is he generally a fan of yellow or just on the building?
Well, I mean, a couple of times I've met him, he tends to wear bright colours. He's a bit of a fancy man.
I see.
Nice suits and all that. He doesn't have to do the fishing himself, so good on him, I guess.
Absolutely. You've said you've run into him once or twice. Is he a pleasant sort of fellow?
Oh, yeah. Very pleasant. He's a very nice man. A very nice man.
Oh.
What?
Just the way you said that, dear. Seemed like you knew from a more personal perspective how nice he was.
Oh, no, miss. Nothing like that. He's a bit of a different sort, different class, if you know what I mean.
I see.
But he's always very nice when he comes around. And, well, he's a bit nice to look at.
Ah, that's what I was getting at. So, rather good-looking fellow as well.
Very much.
I see. No Mrs. Odmundson other than his mother, then? Or
No.
Mr. or anyone else?
No, not that I know of, though, yeah, pretty much could have his run of the island if he wanted, I think.
Oh, wow.
Very popular.
Interesting to know. What about the other brothers? Are they around much?
Oh, yeah, they're around. They did a lot of wrecking, not so much anymore. Mostly they helped the godmother at the inn. The triplets.
Right. Good to know. And the godmother? Have you met her?
Oh yeah, all the time. She's well, she's nice enough if you're nice to her, you know. Yeah, she's got that shotgun she keeps behind the bar though. It's
I
a
have
rowdy
heard-
bunch, but she makes you feel safe.
Good. Well, very interested to meet all of these interesting individuals.
It's an interesting time, that's for sure.
Thank you for that information.
Of course. Would you like some dried herring?
I've eaten, thank you, though.
Anybody else?
I'd like some.
If you would like some, she gives you fish jerky is essentially what it is. It's not bad. It's an okay snack. It's very fishy. Whether or not you find that pleasant is up to you, I guess.
Preference, I suppose.
Anything else? You're sort of coming up on the island shortly.
We have
Okay.
our mystery hot boy.
Keep an eye on the boat coming up on us.
Okay, yeah. You keep an eye on the boat. It never gets too close, but now that you're aware of it, Billy, keeping an eye on it, it's definitely going the same way that you are. It pretty much keeps a tail on you. You arrive after almost exactly an hour at the docks on Wrecker Isle. and you can hear the engine of the other boat. It's still a relatively small boat, but it's got sort of a small steam engine on the back propelling it through the water. You can hear it sort of coming up on you and getting ready to dock shortly after you do. On the island, you can see it's relatively small. Most of it on this whole side is docks. There's tons of fishing boats and sort of small vessels that are tied up, that are docked out here. Some coming, some going, but it's a busy place for a small harbor. You can see 3 buildings kind of set back. One of them, the huge, bright yellow warehouse, and then on either side of the warehouse, there are 2 smaller but still fairly large wooden buildings. One of which has a sign hanging out front over the door that just says "The Inn."
The one.
I was about to ask everyone. Everyone just kept calling it the inn. I was about to ask it the name, but all right then. It's fairly straightforward.
You're muted, Elby.
I unmuted myself. Hi. Shall I try to secure us rooms then?
Sure. Be nice to everyone you encounter, apparently.
Am I usually not nice?
No, not at all. Just play it up, maybe.
All right. I'll walk in.
Okay. Get some inn music going. What's this one? Well, that's fun. Vaguely sea shanty sounding. All right, so you walk into the inn, Villy. It is it's pretty large. It's a pretty large building, and on the inside there are 2 levels to it. The floor in front of you is kind of open. There's lots of tables and mismatched chairs and everything sort of scattered around, and there are a lot of people in here, mostly looking similar to Sarah. Lots of people scattered around, work clothes, sort of breeches and shirts and thick treated boots. All of their hair sort of wind blown and everywhere, but they're trying to keep it pulled back as best they can. Sun-marked skin. There's a lot of sailors in here. At the back is a large bar that sort of spans the whole back wall, and on the wall behind it there are all of these like mismatched glasses on shelves and lots of bottles and things. There's some music playing from one corner, and then in the corner to your right there's a set of stairs that goes up, and the second floor is essentially one large kind of wraparound, almost like a balcony inside, where they're upstairs. There are people sitting at tables and talking and all kinds of stuff. And you walk in, a few people at the nearest table sort of raise a hand, very friendly, kind of wave, smile at you.
She will be friendly and wave and smile back and head up to the bar.
Okay. Standing behind the bar is a woman who has her back to you. She is like putting some of these glasses back up on the shelf. After a moment, she turns around. She is short, heavyset. She's got like tanned, kind of pockmarked skin, like silver hair pulled up in a tight bun. She looks a little severe. She doesn't smile when she sees you, but she greets you. Hello, darling. What can I get you?
What type of day is it? What time of day is it?
I'll say it's like late afternoon at this point.
Good afternoon, miss. My name is Villiblom. I am here to secure some rooms for Dr. Madsen and his guests.
Well, Villiblom, I'll have to give you a discount for calling me miss. Now, won't I? Welcome to the inn. How many rooms do you need?
3 will be sufficient if that's what you have. 4 if you have it.
All right, 4 rooms it is. Some of us got to
Thank
make
you.
a living. And she reaches under the counter, pulls out 4 keys, sets them down on the table. Does Villy have capital to spend?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I don't.
I am
How much do you have?
moderately waged.
I'll say it's just 1 for the rooms.
Okay, 1 capital.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I spend it, and would that be including any meals?
Of course. That includes dinner, which is herring. So hope you like fish.
Of course, I'm very excited to see the delicacies you have here.
Well, my son might call them that. I don't know about the rest of us. What brings you to our island?
That's not my business to be talking about. It's not my business. I am just the servant of the doctor. So it's all on them. But I think we shouldn't be in town for more than 1 or 2 nights. And I'll just we'll be around for meals for the most part.
Alrighty then. Well, not your business to tell, not my business to ask.
Hmm.
Where are my blasted sons? I guess I'll show you to your rooms then.
Thank you very much. And she'll wave over the group.
Hello? Hello, hello, hello. I've heard there's a doctor in our midst.
Yes, that would be myself.
Well, doctor, hope you enjoy your stay.
Thank you.
Follow me. I'll show you to the rooms. They're in our little side building over here. Tell me what brings you to Wrecker Isle, doctor. She is very kind of like squat, like short walk. Just starts making her way, assuming you're following her.
Research.
Oh, you a fish doctor then?
No.
All right. Keep your secrets. Here you are. And she opens kind of a side door, and there's essentially just like a long, low addition to this building. Like it wasn't always an inn. Like it was probably a bar for a long time, and then they needed a place for people to sleep. So there's like a hallway with several like rooms on either side. There you are. 1 through 4. Easy enough.
Do you not get
Thank
many
you.
visitors?
Oh, we get a lot of visitors, just not people that pay for the rooms up front, if you know what I mean.
I'm sorry, I don't know what you mean.
I mean, people pass out drunk in the bar, and then I take their money and let them sleep here.
Oh. Right, sorry.
And can't having them, you know, drunk and going out on a boat and now back to the island.
Right. Get lost. Many people get lost at sea that way?
Oh, they do. Sailors always think they can hold more liquor than they can.
Mm. Is there any interesting spots we should check out while we're in town?
This is about the most interesting spot you're gonna find. Dearie, it's here. It's my home on the other side of the warehouse, and it's the warehouse. So, hope the smell of herring doesn't bother you too bad, and hope your skin is good with salt.
We'll find out.
All right, then. You need anything to eat, you just let me know. I'm a Bella, and if you're gonna drink till you pass out, make sure you go back to your room.
Noted. Thank you.
She claps her hands together, turns on her heel, walks back out the door. You hear her vaguely yelling something at somebody as she shuts the door to the expansion behind her.
Right, well, I've gotten us 4 rooms. So nobody has to bunk up.
Good.
Thank you.
And I'll bring everyone's baggage inside their room and start organizing Elena's stuff.
All right. We got a nice block of four rooms, 2 and 2 across the hall from each other. I mean, they're not nice, but they're rooms. They're, I would say, about 80% dry. And they smell fishy.
Well, hopefully we won't have to be staying here long.
What's the first thing? Sorry.
Oh, I had an out of character question. The person that was tending the bar, was that Abella?
Mm-hmm.
Or was, okay, just making sure.
That's, I guess, the godmother's first name, Abella.
Sorry, what were you saying, LB?
Do we know how long we're going to be staying?
As long as it takes for us to sort this whole matter out.
And what are we going to be doing first?
Well, I received a bit of a lead from the coroner that the body of the vicar was found by a sailor named Sven. I believe they should be able to take us to where the body was found.
And what's our story?
Do we need one?
Probably might not be a great idea to be saying that we're poking around the father's death, all things considered.
I think perhaps we shouldn't say we're with the church at all.
Well, we aren't really.
No, I understand that, but we shouldn't have any connections to it.
Right. Well, we're only going to be able to dance around that for so long before somebody starts catching on.
So you'd like to tell the truth then?
I don't honestly care either way.
Not surprising coming from you. How about... Well, I could at least say that I'm doing interviews with very enterprising business people.
All right. And the doctor is researching into the death for the state.
Sure.
And we are assistants or servant. Alina, are you alright with that? Well, then unpack and we'll gather in the tavern before we head out.
I see no reason why not.
Sounds lovely. The less time I spend in my room, the less I hope to smell of fish when we leave.
Billy nods, knowing that that is not going to be the case no matter where we go in this city.
Okay. So y'all, well, Billy gets everyone's things put away. Freshen up as needed. You're gonna head back out into the tavern. Okay. So you head back out after a little bit into the inn proper. Everything is much the same as you left it. Sailors and other folk sitting around. A few of them have pushed some tables out of the way and are dancing in the middle of the floor, and they're being yelled at by Abella because they're spilling ale on her nice wooden floors, and she cannot have this. You see a younger woman wearing a skirt that she is sort of like pinned up around the bottom so it won't drag on the floor anymore. Sort of roll her eyes, ties an apron around, grabs a mop and goes to clean it up. Yeah.
That's the one.
Should we speak to her now or when we come back?
Well, how dangerous do we expect this endeavor toward finding this Sven character to be?
Moderately?
So we'd like to keep the collective party together?
Yes.
All right, I'll speak with her later.
Should we ask the miss if she knows of this Sven?
I could ask Justina if she knows of this Sven.
Sure. Might give us a little head start on this.
Sidle over, try to find like a stool or an area to sit down and maybe grab a quick drink near where Justina's having to deal with these patrons.
Yeah. You make your way over there. There's an empty table and a couple of chairs that have been like pushed out of the way of these rowdy folks who are trying to start their 1850s dance party in this bar. You take a seat. The younger woman, she's probably like mid-20s, sort of finishes mopping, clocks that you have sat down at an empty table, goes to put the mop away, and makes her way back. She is, again, like mid-20s, freckled, red hair in a long braid that she keeps like throwing back over her shoulder. She approaches you, she smiles. I think you notice she is, from far away, I think she looks relatively small, but when she approaches you, you can see she is sinewy. She is sort of all no fat, all muscle, probably does a lot of work around this place. But she approaches, sort of smiles at you, very friendly. Hello, miss. Can I get you something?
I would love a cold ale. And I wondered if you might direct us to someone that one of my party's looking for. A particular fisherman named Sven. I believe he may have run into something rather disturbing in the last couple of weeks.
Oh, yes. Sven's one of our regulars. As she looks up at, there is a large, almost like an hourglass on the wall. It is like a clock, but you can tell that it is very, very slowly kind of draining sand. On one side, she looks up at it. She says, I imagine he'll be in soon. Was a couple of weeks for him. Since everything happened, it's been every night, unfortunately.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Well, I hope time heals all wounds, all that. Thank you very much. What was your name?
Justina.
Pleasure. Tilda.
Nice to meet you, miss. I'll fetch your ale.
Thank you.
She hurries off to the bar.
Bingo.
What are the rest of you doing? Did you sit down with Tilda, or are you just awkwardly standing in this bar?
I think we sat down. I sat down.
Yeah, just sat down.
At the same table or a different table?
Same table?
Okay, everybody sits down. Justina returns very quickly with a cold mug of ale. You brought friends.
Yes.
Hello,
This
everyone.
is Justina. Would anyone like a quick beverage before we head out?
Do you have any
No, thank
tea?
you.
We do. Most of it's iced. Sort of a local specialty.
Strange.
That's what most people say the first time.
I'll try it then.
Don't suppose you have fruit juice?
Oh, we do. Oranges, mostly.
All right, I'll have some of that.
Okay. And for you?
I'm fine, thank you.
Right. I'll be right back. She smiles and jaunts away.
She seems
Anything
quite
while she's gone?
pleasant.
I do observation of her. Just, yeah, get a read on her.
Sure. Give me an observation roll.
That's a 2.
Okay. Yeah, you only need one, so you can keep the other. She seems like a busy and a little bit harried, but ever pleasant young woman. You know those servers who have been servers for a long time, and you know that they're very busy, and you don't understand how they're not showing it? That's her.
Huh?
She's like that. She's like Tina, who's worked at Applebee's for 10 years. Like,
Got it.
but yeah, she seems genuinely pleasant and happy to see you, even though she doesn't know you.
And no obvious giveaways like baby bump or anything like that, right?
No.
Okay. I had to ask. It's me. I
No.
had to ask.
She looks like a strong young woman.
Good to know.
She returns shortly with a glass that is definitely a pint glass, but filled with orange juice, and another glass, sort of a tall, almost like a highball glass, with an iced tea. A strange occurrence.
How is that, Doctor?
Cold. I've never.
Does
had
Danny
it.
like sugar in their tea?
Very little.
It's a little sweet for your tastes. That's not bad.
It's a bit sweet.
Oh. I'd have to try that later.
Why cold tea? Strange.
It's what they have here in the South.
In the south northern part of the world.
Yeah. I guess Tilda, Alina, and so apparently this Sven individual that was the one to find the late father should be in shortly.
Oh, good. Perhaps we can. I don't think we should approach him, all of us, unless we're going to do it as like a. Maybe a rubbing off on me. Should we do this as a sort of a sly way, or should we do it as a upfront way?
Well, I need to see where he found the body. So, however you accomplish that, I don't rightly care.
The sly way could be to butter him up, buy him some drinks, and get him to tell you something of interest. The direct way could be that we're trying to investigate this death and he'd better show us or else. The first one sounds more entertaining to me at the very least.
All right.
All right. I leave that to you. It's not really my area of expertise.
Fine by me. Are you alright, Billy?
Fine. Everything is wonderful. No, I'm kidding. Oh, no, I'm fine. Thank you. I'm just, tired from the trip. Your bullshit. No,
Sorry,
she
what?
doesn't say that. She doesn't say that.
Billy's fed up.
Just fuck or fight. I don't care. Yeah, we'll wait until he gets here.
Right. You wait awkwardly. Everything this group does together is so awkward. A few minutes later, Justina comes back by. Can I get you anything to eat?
Do you have anything besides herring?
Well, I could roast you up some vegetables.
I suppose that'll do.
Okay. Anyone else?
I'd actually have the same. That sounds lovely. I might save the larger herring-based meal for later.
I'll try some of the herring.
Okay. And for you, miss?
Herring is fine.
Right. She leaves, comes back a little bit later with some roasted herring and vegetables. So just vegetables for some of you. It's it's still very fishy smelling. But the sourness of the herring smell is gone once it's cooked. And it seems actually quite pleasant. That she sort of sets the food down, looks over all of you and says, Sven should be in shortly. Is there anything I can do for you in the meantime?
You know, we did have a message. I think for you, right?
Shit. I was actually going to ask you, is that of character, if you wanted me to drop that bomb or not?
Yes,
I guess we're
why
doing
not?
it.
For me.
I believe so. You, I'm sorry, your name was Justina?
Yes.
We spoke on the island, or off the island. We were in town for a little bit and came across a gentleman. And when we told him when we were coming across the shore to give you a message, he said hello. It was the father, Oscar.
Her face immediately falls. Oscar.
Right. Sorry, he says hello and something about an offer still being on the table. I hope I didn't upset you.
Oh, no, not at all. Oscar and I are actually old friends.
Oh.
Going way back. We've known each other since we were kids.
Oh, you seemed a pleasant chap.
Yes. Very.
Good. I don't know if we're going to be heading back to town anytime soon, but if you'd like us to send him a reply message, I suppose we could be a courier.
Are you friends of Oscar's? Or just passing through?
I wouldn't exactly say friends, but we have other things to do upon the island.
Then, no, don't trouble yourselves with it. I'll just see him next time he comes in.
Are you certain? Are you?
Oh yes, he'll be back for sure. It's quite all right.
All right then.
Would you look at that? That's Sven. That's just walked in the door. A tall, blonde chap. I'll leave you to your business. And she all but runs away from you.
It seems that she might have said more if we had told her what was happening.
Perhaps not in such a public place.
Sometimes it is better to know less than to know more, if you catch my understanding.
No, I don't. That doesn't make any sense.
Generally speaking, it's better not to know too much about another stranger's ongoings and personal life, especially if they didn't give you the information in the first place.
I still don't understand, but I'll take your word for it.
Are you feeling all right? That sounds like the opposite of what you normally do. Well, you, not me.
Who are you speaking to?
You.
How so?
Well, you want to know everything about everyone's business.
Of course I do. I just don't want them to know that I know everything about their business.
Oh,
That's
right.
bad for business.
My mistake.
This is why I have such little interest in people.
That is fair.
You don't seem to mind the dead ones, though.
Yes, they tend to be simpler. Right. So, we should speak with this Sven fellow.
Speak. Well, perhaps we'll let the ale speak for us first. Philly, could we
Yes?
buy that gentleman a drink?
Sure. And by we you mean you, right? I mean, I can pay for it, but
Oh no, that's the part that I meant.
right. She visibly like relaxes her shoulders a little bit, like, oh shit, was I supposed to? I'm not gonna talk to him, right? Yeah, she will flag down Justina, and Nancy. Can you get Nancy over here, please?
Jenny for short.
Where's Nancy?
And can I send a drink over from Miss Tilda?
Of course. Yeah, you flag Justina down. She is still smiling. She is much more short with you than she was before, but she's very polite and takes an ale immediately over to Sven, sets it down in front of him, and you see her kind of point in your direction, indicating that someone has bought him a drink.
Who does he look at? Trying to gauge the situation here.
Oh.
Who does he hope the drink is from?
Roll observation.
Thank you. Two successes.
Okay.
Ah.
He looks over at the table, looks down at the drink, looks up, and catches your eye, Alina, and kind of smiles and then looks away. And Tilda, you see this happening.
Might be a change of plans.
What do you mean?
Alina, would you
Yes?
mind joining me to speak with the gentleman?
Well, don't you think someone else might be better suited to speak to him?
Not in this situation.
Oh, okay.
Lovely. Why don't we join him?
All right. Okay.
Looks around, stressed out. Listen, all of you are going to get a turn for an NPC to hit on you. It's a rule. It's in the book, I swear. The rule book that I wrote. The two of you make your way over to Sven's table. He looks up, kind of a small smile on his face, just nods and kind of lifts up the mug in a cheers.
Pleasure to make your acquaintance. I'm Tilda. This is Alina.
Hello.
Lady? Sven.
Pleasure. Not to waste time, but just chat the gentleman up. Maybe buy him another drink. Keep an eye on how he response to Alina. I'm just eventually gonna maybe slip in any interesting things happening around town and see what he says after he's been buttered up a little bit.
Well, I'd say the most interesting thing right now is you two. Well, you four. We don't get many visitors. Well, I say that. We get a lot of visitors, but a lot of visitors are a lot of the people visiting from nearby, so they're not really visitors, are they?
Too true.
He thinks that's very funny.
Elbow Alina to laugh.
She doesn't understand.
So, what brings you to our island?
Well, I'm actually here to see if I might speak with the Herring Baron himself on his burgeoning business. We do have a friend who was hoping to learn more about this terrible event that happened. Something about a member of the clergy who passed in more violent circumstances.
Ah, you mean the vicar?
Yes.
Unfortunate business that he washed up on the western side of the island, right behind the building, actually.
Oh, that's dreadful.
Yeah.
Did you know him?
Not well. He came by here and there. But I think I've seen more of him than I ever want to be honest. Well, bit bloody there in the end. Excuse me, miss.
Oh no. You came upon the poor fellow then?
I did. Yeah. Washed up on the beach. Terrible thing. I was drunk at the time.
Well, perhaps that softened the blow a little, I suppose.
Thought it wasn't real at first, but you know. You see things when all we've had all day is ale and herring.
I would imagine. Right outside here, you say?
Pretty close, yeah. Taking a walk, get some fresh air. Come upon a dead vicar.
Oh, my goodness.
Not what you expect.
Certainly not. If you wouldn't mind, would you mind showing our friend the doctor? They were interested in seeing if they might find out more about this dastardly business.
Have you roll manipulation?
Can I help?
Yes,
Yeah.
can she help?
How do you help?
Alina just is like, it's really very important that they get to see where it washed up, and I was hoping that maybe afterwards we can get another drink.
Okay, yeah, go ahead and roll. You get 2 extra dice.
Woohoo! Three successes.
Dang, I was gonna say you needed 2. Does not want to return to the scene of the crime. But yeah, he looks a little hesitant. But then Alina, you say that, he kind of perks up a little bit, and addresses you, even though Tilda's the one talking to him. You all mentioned a doctor. Is that you?
Me?
Yeah.
Oh no, I don't. Do I look like a doctor?
Oh, I don't know. You look like a smart enough lady.
Well, that she most certainly is. She has been assisting the doctor in their investigation.
Right. Well, it's just a short walk. I suppose I can show you.
Thank you ever so much.
And
I shall...
then we'll get a drink.
Yes.
All right.
Why don't you both wait here a moment and I shall fetch the doctor? Matchmaking. She'll leave the table for a moment.
Did he say anything rude to her?
No, he's actually quite smitten with her. He was a very nice young man.
All right.
Such a nice young man that he is willing to show us to where he found the body.
Good.
Excellent.
Thank Alina. She took one for the team.
In what way?
She... Well, I don't know whether she actually has a preference for the gentleman. She at least appeared to. It did help tip the scales, as it were.
Good.
Well, they're waiting for us.
Stands up and walks over very quickly.
Alina, while they're gone, Sven is just like awkwardly trying to make small talk. So, are you from nearby?
No. From very far away.
Oh. All right. Yeah. Well, what brings you here?
Oh, tourism?
You like fish then?
Yes, I love fish.
Well, you're in the right place.
Yes, there's been quite a lot of fish since we got here.
It's mostly herring, but if you go far enough out, you can find some really strange looking fish.
Strange looking how?
Oh, you know, all kinds of stuff. Some of them got very big teeth. Some of them got very big fins. Some of them got both.
Do you like fish then?
I sort of have to. Living here.
That's fair. Have you always lived here?
Yeah, lived here all my life.
And you've never left?
No, now that you mention it. Not much reason to.
Oh, but travel's exciting.
Yeah, I suppose it is. About this time, Billy shows up.
Everything all right?
Yes. I think it's fine.
Good. Looks the man up and down.
Hello?
Hello.
This is Villy.
Hello, Billy. I'm Sven.
Nice to meet you, Sven.
You as well. So, we're going for a walk, then.
Yeah. I'll walk. Wait for the others to come over.
I assume the rest of you follow.
Yeah.
All right. This way then. We can go out back. Bella won't mind. And he leads you to the back of the bar and out a door. Sven, again, awkwardly tries to make small talk, doesn't really know what to ask other than, where are you from? And do you like herring? Because we have so much of it here on this island. Might as well be called Herring Island. But he walks out to the water, which is very close to the inn, and down a ways a little bit until you are almost behind the big yellow warehouse. He points to a spot on the sand where some like driftwood and things have washed up, and says, there you go. This is thereabouts where I was.
The The corpse, was it on the shore here, in the water?
Yeah, he just sort of washed up.
Did you see the body wash up?
Sort of. Yeah, he was, well, mostly already here. I pulled him the rest of the way out.
Right. Did you find anything on the body?
No. Well, I mean, I didn't look. Just enough to know it was the vicar, but he has that collar, so.
Right. No firearm?
Why would the priest have a gun?
Why, indeed.
He was shot, wasn't he?
Yes, Vide, he was shot.
So they say.
You don't believe it?
I don't know. All I know is I pulled him out of the water. So unless a herring and learning how to use guns, that would be unfortunate for all of us.
Improbable.
Alina does laugh at that.
Yeah, I don't know. His head was all messed up, so.
Danny will start meandering around, looking for anything that might be scattered nearby.
Okay. Go ahead and roll. This seems like investigation.
Okay.
May Tilda assist.
Sure. Tilda can help. Can add 2 dice as the two of you start to look around in the sand.
Well, let me check, because I have a magnifying glass too. I need to remember what that does. Used to find clues during investigation.
It seems like kind of a big space to use a magnifying glass, but I'll allow it. It's like some Scooby-Doo shit.
Yes. Just holds it up and starts like walking around with it. Alright. Investigation +2 from Tilda, +1 from the magnifying glass. How improbable.
You rolled so many ones.
Impossible. I rolled 11
May
dice.
May I pass along one of my banked? It's like, I'll pass along. I have 5 banked successes from this session.
You've rolled so well today.
May I pass along many of them? Like 2 of them?
2 of them? Sure.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
2 success. There is so many 1s and 2s
I know.
in there.
The heck?
9 of them were either a 1 or a 2.
The doctor was just ticked off that she was like looking over in their space, that they were like, just go. Ah.
Or
And
it
just-
turns out a magnifying glass is not the right tool to be looking for things on a beach at night.
It's really not. It's really not. Yeah, I'll say Tilda points out a couple of spots to you, Danny, and the 2 of you together find a couple of things. For one, nighttime now, and as the moon comes out, you don't see it with your magnifying glass, but something, the moonlight glints off of something in the sand, a little ways like up the beach, not right next to the water, but kind of halfway between the warehouse building and the shore. And you go and pick it up, kind of pull it up out of the sand, and you find a crucifix that's been like partially buried. And then moving up the same way, you can see, again, as the moonlight sort of hits the sand of the beach, you can see a dark or musical accompaniment. There is nearby, again, a little bit more towards the warehouse, sort of a dark spot, almost what looks like a wet spot in the sand that's been partially covered.
Over there.
Does it look like blood or like something?
Yeah.
Okay.
You're a doctor. Yeah. It does.
And these items seem to be leading towards the warehouse.
Mm-hmm.
I believe I may have some idea of where the incident took place. I don't believe the
Tilda.
father's body washed up here.
You think it was dumped?
Potentially we might find more information at the warehouse.
Well, being a little further away from Sven, at least, would you hope to secure that information this evening, or should we perhaps wait till tomorrow and perhaps we can get a tour from the herring baron himself?
It might be better to go now. Avoid any further tampering with the crime scene.
This evening it is, then. Perhaps we should be seen going to our rooms and then sneak out later.
Yes.
Good. Head back to the group.
Okay. The two of you head back to the group to report what you found. And as you do, everyone hears this, but Alina, I think you notice it first. Before you can hear anything, Alina, you look out over the water and you see a flash coming from a clear sky of lightning. And then overhead, there is a huge thunderclap. And that is where we're going to go ahead and end our session for the day. Thanks,
Spooky.
everybody, for playing today and for hanging out with us. Quickly, let us do our XP questions for the end of the session. Everybody ready?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Don't panic. We have to do XP first. Then you can panic. Let's see. So at the end of the session, we have 8 questions that we will answer for experience. Number 1, did you participate in the session?
Yes.
Yes, for everyone. So 1 for everyone. Did you confront any Vason?
Is lightning a Vason?
No.
Is herring a Vason?
No.
Is Sven a Vason?
Mayonnaise a Vason?
No? Maybe.
Never looked at a sandwich the same way again. All right.
Did you identify a previously unknown Vason?
No.
No, didn't really get into Vason yet this time. Were you affected by your dark secret?
Is Tilda continuing to ask questions and prod at Danny being affected by their dark secret?
How is it actually
very annoying.
changing anything for you in any way?
It's making it harder for them to get away with shit.
Oh, that's true. Okay. Sure. Let's see.
Not really.
Did you take risks to protect other people? Not a lot of risk taking this time. Have you learned anything? What?
Yes.
We learned that the father
Vicar.
was murdered.
Yeah.
True that. True that. Among other things. Did you develop something in your headquarters? No.
Nope.
Did you perform an extraordinary action?
Alina did.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's like having visions and stuff, which I love.
Does rolling no successes on 11 dice count as extraordinary?
It's not for XP purposes, but in my heart, it's extraordinary.
Okay.
All right. So yeah, take your XPs. And yeah,
Level up.
good job, everybody. It is 5 XP, I think, for an advance. So do with that what you will. Thank you, everyone. Thanks to my wonderful players for going on this new adventure full of fish and fish. Yeah, we will be back 1 week from today to play again. That will be, holy shit, August 1st. It'll be August. I'm pretty sure last time I checked it was still March of 2020. It'll be August 1st. We'll be back in 1 week, same time, same place. And we hope that you will all join us. In the meantime, we have several other live streams that you can check out. Our next live stream on this channel will be on Tuesday. Tuesday night we'll have Tabletop Tuesdays, which I think it's a Cthulhu week coming up. And then after that, we'll have Elegant Magics on Thursday, Neon Souls on Friday. The premiere episode 1 of Saturday Night's Mistborn on Saturday. And then we'll be back around for more Thursday's Children to play more Vaesen on Sunday. If you want something else to do tonight, after this at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time, you can come over to twitch.tv/LBHack'emUp, where LB and me and some other wonderful, wonderful ladies will be playing Dungeons and Dragons and a campaign called Playthings of the Gods. We're back this week, and I'm very, very excited to get to that. Anything anybody wants to plug or talk about before we go away?
After you go watch LB and Savvy, you can come on over to twitch.tv/Indoor Adventures for all of the guests join the main cast of Rime of the Frost Maiden. I don't know how that overlay is going to work. It's going to be real interesting. That's 10 o'clock Eastern over there. It's going to be late night. But yeah, I get to do the final reprisal of Roberta, the Hobgoblin, who's now a real Hobgoblin, but used to be Frosty, the snow person. And then tomorrow at 8 o'clock Eastern over on twitch.tv/InfiniteRP, gonna be doing some Flames of Freedom. So excited. That's gonna be our premiere of that. And yeah, very, very excited. Definitely come check that out on a Monday night.
Yeah. Anybody else? All right, so then we will see everybody for the next installment of Thursday's Children in 1 week, same time, same place. But until then, good game and good night, Internet.